Hello, this is Greg Allison. Green Greg is coming to you live in the wee hours, almost 2 a.m. on the 26th of March, 22. Time on deck is, I said, 2 a.m., guys. So, guys, I might have to breeze through this. I started not to go live there, but I just spent 5 hours researching articles and trying to get them all sorted out to put up here. That's what happened to me last night after the storms. I did the same thing. I spend hours every day with the intention of going live. So I don't always do it because I ran out of time. Anyway, it's late. I got to get up early in the morning. I got an interview early tomorrow morning. So, but I wasted it yesterday, so I'm gonna do it today. So I'm gonna try to rush through here. So I may not spend as much time on the comments, guys. Anyway, so let's get to it. I'm gonna go straight to some articles here, and we're gonna rock and roll. I'm not even going to editorialize. I'm just going to go through the news. I'm gonna blast through it because save both of us time here. Bing, bing, bing. So here we are, guys. Here's the stuff you need to know about the coming woe. Ukraine situation report. Nukes ready to deploy to Belarus this summer. So the guys, they probably won't be any nukes flying to this summer. And if they are at first, it would probably be tactical. So that gives you a little breathing room, I would hope. But then again, who knows what's going on with Iran right now? With Iran, things are getting really testy. There's so much news going on right now, guys, that you better be aware. I mean, holy smoke. I will refresh this just so who's in the room here. All right, guys. So, wow, the Zoom's fighting me. Here's another article on that. Russia's Medvedev claims Moscow may send troops back to Kyiv. Nothing can be ruled out. Yeah, so what you're talking about, we may reinvade Kyiv. We may send troops there. Of course, they've kind of petered out. They're having a hard time getting in there, but they are putting a lot of troops in the service now. If they can give them ammo and such and equipment that runs, they might move them. So these are all things to consider. And we've only got 2 in the room watching. Now, why am I doing this? Holy smoke. All right, guys. I'm going to go on here in a little bit. If we don't get more than 2, I'm going to have to wonder why I'm doing this at all. I spent hours working for this stuff. Anyway, guys, I'm coming to y'all live tonight because I've already spent all the time on this. Did it last night and didn't share it, guys. Didn't even share it. Okay, guys, here we are. Putin says Moscow will place nuclear. This is the same thing, just a different news. I've tried to get all these sorted together. I failed on that one. You know, this I spent a lot of time just sorting these articles out, even more researching them, finding them. All right, and here's one of the red lines. Russia said that if we're sending these spy planes, these drones into the Black Sea, they consider that an act of war because we're spying on them and identifying targets and telling Ukraine what to target. And they're getting hit hard in Crimea right now by the targeting of their stuff there. So, okay, now we got people in the room. Very good. Appreciate that. So now they are saying that this is an act of war doing this. So, okay, well, we're going to keep doing it. We're just going to fly them closer to Turkey, a little bit further away. Maybe so they won't be so easy to get shot down or nosed down by a Russian fighter jet. So there we go. The MQ-9 is still going to be out there. So we're just pushing the red lines. We're pushing all this stuff further and closer to war. And yeah, guys, I'm not going to pay as much attention to the chat room tonight because I'm trying to get through this stuff. I got an interview in the morning. By the way, with all this war tension, you better consider right now is a good time to come in and look at this stuff, guys. 3 months food supply with $200 off. That's 3 months supply, guys. When you look at that way, that's less than $200 a month. Can you buy groceries for that? No. I wish I could buy them for a fraction of that. Everybody chaps about the cost. Holy smoke, for what you're getting, that's a great deal. And it lasts 25 years too, to boot. And you can store it and travel with it a lot easier than you can regular canned food. So think about that, guys. We got 84 in the room now. Appreciate that, guys. Man, I thought nobody was going to watch tonight. All right, here's another thing to bear in mind. Norway, now Sweden and Finland are not in NATO yet, but Norway and Sweden, Finland, and Denmark just struck a deal where all their fighter jets operate as one unit, as if they're one military. So that just about, kind of is a de facto extension of NATO. But, these are the Nordic nations. They ought to hang together. So I kind of, I got a lot of Nordic blood in me, so I've got a little empathy for them there. So, but 200 fighter jets between all of them, just 200 fighter jets. Well, and this article says it's got, Putin, chewing his fingers off. Yeah. I don't know if, I'm sure it's going to cause some concern, but I don't know if he's chewing his fingers off just yet, because this is the total number of aircraft that Russia has. 3,652 of those, 25% are fighter jets. So what's that say? 912 fighter jets estimated out of this. 912 fighters versus 200. So I don't think the Nordic countries are going to be taking Russia on by themselves. If they do, they're in big trouble. So there we go, guys. But, the United States has got more fighter jets than Russia, but ours is scattered all around the world too. So we can't just put them all there. I don't know what the other countries got to bring to bear. I think ours has better technology, but if they get hit by EMP, Russians, we always thought the Russian equipment would be better suited to stand up. Thank you, New Days, for sharing that. PrepWithGreg.com. All right, guys. U.S. Secretary of State says Ukraine will not regain all territories by military means. Excuse me. And this is in the Ukraine version of Pravda. So they're, maybe they're waking up to this. I don't see them really taking and holding the breakaway parts of Donetsk and Luhansk. I really have a hard time seeing that the people there would live with that very well, and that Ukraine can manage that. This is a room for some peace negotiations, but on the other hand, Ukraine really feels that if there's that fortress of Crimea below them, Russia will always be staging new attacks on them. And same time, if Russia loses, so that's why Crimea is existential to both Ukraine and Russia, and that makes it a powder keg and a potential source for World War III right there, is Russia might go to nukes over maintaining Crimea. And it's not just the military aspects that I've talked about in the past, why it's so vital to Russia militarily or Ukraine militarily. It's also face. Putin made his mark by taking Ukraine. It really upped his standing in the polls in Russia. If he loses it, he's probably finished. And if he's finished, that usually means he don't survive. And I've always said, the survival of the head of state is the most important matter to the head of state and drives their policies. And in Russia, the policies of what happens are a lot more driven by the head of state than it is the United States of America, far more. So minus 300 fighters, Russia's lost. Yeah, well, I don't know if that's minus that or not. That number may already count for that. I can't say, Tommy. I don't know if that number was before they lost them or after they lost them. So there we go, guys. Now Zelensky is out here saying, well, we can't start a counteroffensive against the Russians because we don't have enough ammo. We need more ammo. We need more armaments. We need more of this stuff. Well, Ukraine the United Kingdom just come out, and I didn't post that article because it was one of those news agencies that when you post it, I get a zillion ads popping up. It eats up all my memory, and all those British sites are like that. So, but the British article that I saw claimed that the United Kingdom says it's going to take them 10 years to get ready to have enough armaments and have enough ammo to fight themselves. They're that depleted. And we know we've depleted our ammo a lot already. And if we get into war with, say, China, it's said our cruise missiles will only last 2 weeks. So everybody's hurting for ammo in the West. We did not prepare up for a conflict like this in the West. Whether you afford it or not, the fact of the matter is the ammo is getting kind of scant. And this is why I told you guys, and I've told y'all a zillion times, and we'll repeat it again. If Ukraine's going to win, and this puts them in a bad spot. If they can't make an offensive or make it mark or a difference or not willing to negotiate a peace, they're in trouble because time is not on the side of Ukraine. Now, I've got a lot of Ukrainian fans in here, and I got a lot of Russian fans in my chat room. So I say this impartially. It's just a fact. Ukraine is a smaller nation than Russia. They have less people and less factories. I don't care how beat up Russia is or how beat up Ukraine is or what you argue one way or another way, 6 ways from Sunday all day and all night. It don't matter. Because in the end, Russia still has more men, more materials, more factories, about 4 times more than Ukraine. Ukraine right now still got the biggest, most experienced army in all of Europe. And, there's some pretty tough guys, but, what I kept saying, that this reminds me of the South and the war between the states. Now, I'm not saying the people are like the South or the North or anything like that. I'm just saying, just numerically, when you look at what they're up against, South was winning first 2 years and then got whooped hard, after that. So it took the Southern economy 100 years to recover from that war. So, guys, this is not Jesse, tell me I would not really believe anything the media or Biden propaganda. Yeah, I don't believe anything from the media. What won World War II? U.S. manufacturing power. You're right. We won by attrition because, for one, we had the world's fuel at the time. The United States supplied petroleum all over the world. We were the petroleum supplier and the manufacturer. We were like China and Saudi Arabia put together. That's what we were in World War II. We were the China of the world, and we were the Saudi Arabia of the world. That was hard to beat. That was very hard to beat. The United States had and we were the bread basket, the manufacturer, and the Saudi Arabia all combined. Holy walking smoke-a-moly. That's how we beat Japan and Germany. Now, bear in mind, Japan and Germany put together don't have the manpower materials that China has, and neither one of them made the kind of inroads into America that China has made into our society everywhere. They got their fingers and tentacles everywhere. So we get into with China, that is going to be a rough road to hoe. Yeah, how do we America has won every war it's won as a war of attrition by having more manufacturing, more manpower than the opposition. How do you do that vis-a-vis China? Yeah, see, there's a problem. Well, there is some strategies for it, but I'm going to tell you what, it's not going to be easy. America built 15,000 B-17s. That's right. Now, you know how many aircraft we got today? It's nothing compared to that. Of course, our aircraft are very high tech, yeah, sure. But guys, this is what we're up against, We don't have the manufacturing even to do that kind of stuff anymore. We had Rosie the Riveter. Back then, people had a crazy work ethic, and that's all they knew. They worked their tails off. Stan, agreed what, Stan? They worked their tails off to get us there. So, yeah, we are not in a good place, and Ukraine is not in a good place. I say all along, time is not on the side of Ukraine. If they can come to a deal now, it might serve them well, but they've got to worry that Russia would come back and pound on them later. That might happen, but then again, it might give them time to rearm too. So, yeah, it's not an easy proposition, but that's why I kind of paid a little homage over here to Blinken. Blinken, Blinken. We know how we used to always say Blinken, that Blinken this and that Blinken that. Now we got a Secretary of State named Blinken. It's just totally funny to me. That Blinken Secretary of State Blinken. But anyway, I don't like him, okay? But, I got to, this is kind of what I've been saying all along. You just kind of coming to the truth. All right. Syria attacks, as Biden's warning the U.S. will act forcibly to protect Americans. Well, they've been still fighting over there, guys. So this is we'll switch over here to the Syrian front. And it's not Syria. No, it's not serious attack. And it's the Iranian so-called proxies, but Iran's backing them up, guys. Iran warns of immediate counter response if U.S. attacks its bases after strikes on Syria. See what I'm saying, guys? Iran is backing them up. So it's not like they're just some independent, we love Syria fan club out there that we're hitting. They're very intertwined. Stinking Blinken. There you go. That's a better one. Women took their husbands' factory jobs. That's right. They did. Well, even factory jobs that their husbands didn't have because they made new factory jobs. That's when we had the Rosie the Riveter. Well, the man was already gone overseas anyway, so it wasn't like, it wasn't nothing to stay home for, I guess. I don't know. Maybe on the farm. All right. But see, here's part of our whole dilemma. The enemies don't fear us no more because we botched this thing in Afghanistan, not to mention how well we armed the other side, right? Talk about attrition. You know, we had victory gardens in World War II. You better be considering that again. You better get the seeds while you can. And it's springtime. Good time to go to my Tree Leaf Market link. You don't like what they got? That's where I do most of my shopping. Try Eden Brothers. Got both of them now. Check my links out. Guys, here it is. This DF-26 missile. It's sinking American aircraft carrier 2,000 miles away. See, that's outside. You see, we got to get a little closer than that to operate our jets to do the kind of sorties they want to do. And so this missile's got a lot of reach. What our side's been banking on is that we'll move around enough time something fires that distance, they won't be able to target our aircraft carriers. I did a white paper. In my white paper, I'm explaining these Chinese spy balloons has loiter time the satellites don't have. But see, we can figure on satellites go over. Satellites not like watching all the time. They go over. Yep, yep. Watch the satellite across the sky. They're not up there long. They go over, whoop, and they don't have enough to do constant surveillance. But with the balloons loitering, oh yeah, they'll know where those aircraft carriers are, and they'll knock every single one of them out of the water. That's what's coming, guys. The spy balloons are not a funny matter, and the EMP ones are even more serious. So yeah, and they could also when our ships are that far away, they can EMP the whole fleet with something lower down like a balloon and not even affect them at home. So yeah, these balloons are going to be the asymmetric changer in warfare. That's what's in my paper. I will, when it comes out, I will brief you guys on that. China threatens serious consequences if your warship again sails by the contested Parcel Islands. Well, guys, this is crazy because, you know, I've shown y'all before that if China really shuts down everything at 9-9, all our allies get their trade cut off. That's why we're trying to keep that open. Besides, it is within the Law of the Sea Treaty that those waters should be uncontested. And in fact, that territory, a lot of the territory China's claiming belongs to a lot of these other nations or grabbed it from. China's doing the same thing Russia did, only bigger, hitting and involving more nations. China's throwing their weight around in the South China Sea big time. The war may start there instead of Taiwan because South Korea, Philippines, Japan, all have to have their trade going through that area in the South China Sea. They're reliant, $3 trillion in trade go through that sea a year. There's vast resources that should belong to those other nations. And China signed that treaty. China signed the treaty, but they ignored it. In the World Court in The Hague, which I don't really love, ruled against China. And China says, up yours, we'll ignore it. So, this whole idea you can sign a treaty with a country like China and expect them to honor it is, they'll only honor it as long as it serves them and makes you comply with something. But when it no longer serves them, they ain't going to give it 2 cents, not for one split nanosecond. They don't care about it. It's all a ploy to control you. You can't sign a treaty with a communist nation and expect them to, they'll never honor them unless you get some verification to that and they got some reason to honor that treaty. They will not honor it. It's just like the space treaties. They're not going to honor those either. They're going to seize anything they can seize. That's what they do. That's what they're going to do. So you cannot trust China. I mean, oh yeah, okay. They honored that thing with Hong Kong. So Hong Kong's safe for 50 years, right? That was a treaty, right? Yeah. Okay. What do they honor? Nothing. And yet they have the belligerence to tell everybody else stuff like this. And this ain't right. They're violating international treaty. They're violating the court. They are seizing territory, what should be rightful territory of several other nations around the South China Sea. And then they're making threats for people sailing through it in protection of their allies. So there you go, my friends. That's what we're facing there. And that's why that's a direct threat. Oh yeah, we have American territory on Guam. It's also reliant. American citizens live in there, guys. Scariest thing is Afghanistan got the stuff left behind. Yeah. Where's all that go? Plus all of our technology, and where'd our technology go? What do these guys? Hey, John, Colonel Cole, how you doing? Yeah, maybe Cole would like to tell us about all this stuff that China, yeah, the Afghans and China got and what they could do with it. It's scary what all they got. Not to mention Chinese subs are good, not as good as ours actually, but they have subs. They got nukes on them. So I don't know. They're getting pretty good though. China's got a lot of stuff, guys, and China's got a lot of missiles now that can carry nukes. So I think they've got a lot more nukes than what our intelligence community is willing to admit. If they didn't, why are they building so many nuclear capable intercontinental ballistic missiles from submarines? And the missile fields are also building in China, capable of housing 40 MIRV launchers, 400 MIRV launchers, which can carry 10 warheads each, and yet we believe they only got 300 nukes. Give me a break. Our intelligence community is not so intelligent, in my not so humble opinion. And that opinion was shared by the late, great Dr. Peter Vincent Pry, by the way, very much. And he was one of the world's foremost weapons systems analysts. So several years ago, Chinese subsurfaced inside a carrier task force. Yeah, I bet they had people turning their pants brown. All right. So, this article asks the questions, are we flirting with a nuclear war? This guy was kind of, alluding to the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. No. Same producer, Dr. Strangelove. Excuse me, Dr. Strangelove. And, he's basically saying we haven't learned the lessons and we're heading in that direction. I'm not going to go through the article, just letting you know. We'll change topics. We'll get off the war and we'll go to the more news. Texas Senator Ted Cruz launches bill to block U.S. government from creating the CBDC. Guys, this is why you need to go to the Freedom Restoration Foundation website and back this bill. We'll have to put out an alert on it. That's over here, guys. FreedomRestorationFoundation.org. I pay for this website out of my own pocket. I just hadn't had time to maintain it. My guy Tom Kinnemer, who kept this up, passed away on us, unfortunately, late last year. Good man. Sorry to see him go, guys, but I need somebody to keep this up. I ain't got time. So paying for it, I set this page up, but to maintain it, I just can't handle it. I got too many things on my plate. So let's go back where we're at. Sync. All right. What was this? Yeah, that was that. Cruise. Yeah, we need to support stuff like this, because CBDCs will wreck our country. CBDCs, you'll have no privacy. CBDCs, every time you buy a square of toilet paper, they're going to know what you got and where you got it, how much you spent for it. I'll probably try to figure out where you used it at too. Good Lord only knows. EU, look, the United Kingdom and Netherlands, not the United Kingdom, the European Union is trying to shut down their farmers, and are doing so in the Netherlands. They're shutting down a lot of their farmers. Their farmers are pushing back, and they're getting some wins on it. So, pray for the farmers there in the Netherlands, because they're trying to shut them down because, well, it has environmental impacts. Farming's bad for the environment. Excuse me, don't we need to eat? Oh, no, we have too many people. You shouldn't be eating. That's the problem. Too many people. You see what I'm saying, guys? This is the lunacy that comes to us from the House of Klaus and those who are of that mind. They're off the rockers, but they're almost in charge of Europe. And let's wish those farmers there well in their attempt to prevail against this. There's a lot of people in Europe that don't like what's been foisted upon them, and so let's if we're not careful, we're going to be in the same situation here. But another area that we're going to take away all the internal combustion engines. Now you see California's heading that way, and they always say what happens in California hits the rest of the nation here. You can see this is what they would like to do here. Germany stopped it there, Germany. But, you know, how long is that good for? Some reason Germany decided they didn't want that to happen. Getting rid of all the internal combustion engines. Well, even if you know, that's all I got. I got several internal combustion engine cars, and I don't have any plans to get rid of them, vans and vehicles and trucks. You know, that's what I got. So, you know, if I had to make wood gas, I probably would. would. So, you know, alcohol, wood gas, or something, because this is crazy. I have no intentions to surrender them. They might come in and pound them and throw me in a brig for driving one if they pass these kind of crazy laws here. I'm sure that's what they'd like to do, or take away my right to use CBDCs to be the only currency in the world. I don't even want to use it in the first place. So we need another economy, guys. But all that said, here's what you got to know. Hydrogen engines are actually internal combustion engines. The largest commercial operated engine in the world is running on hydrogen. That's another alternative, is hydrogen. You could have your injectors modified or whatever and burn hydrogen in about any vehicle, any internal combustion engine. Or you can run fuel cells for the stinking electric cars. So there you go, guys. Hydrogen may be the answer. Wood gasifier, yeah, Jason, why not? They don't want oxygen. Yeah, they're going to tell us that pretty soon that we can't exhale carbon dioxide or something like that. You know, craziness, guys. There's just all kind of craziness around. So we've got to moderate this crazy. I'm trying to get through this video quick tonight, because, guys, I got to get ready. I've got a interview in the morning. Let me check something out. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I got an interview. So I'm gonna show y'all something in a minute, guys. So make sure you go to my other channels. This is my Rumble channel for Swivelhead News. I've got a YouTube Swivelhead News channel. I think that's this one. Yeah. 7 streams. Okay. Check this out. I've been so busy, I've not been posting as much to these channels lately, but I will, you know, like this one. I didn't put that on this channel. It only got 749 views. You guys need to come over here and see that, although this is may not happen. It may happen next week. We don't know yet. I got my Galactic Greg's channel. I got tons of space articles, but just hard to post everything. I got so much going on right now, guys. Maybe I'll be posting more here soon. But if you're not subscribed, subscribe. I do have plans to do more Serenity, Soothing Sounds, Product Papas, of course. And you got to go to our Survival Tribe Network now. Just like I'm handling the Freedom Restoration Foundation, I set this site up. I built it. I pay for it. Lizal set this site up. She actually hired somebody to develop it. It's a better built site. Professionals did this. Although I think this one looks pretty darn good, guys. I did have we're all these alerts. I did have a lady help me when I first set it up. Yeah, we had other pages in here too. Some of it's not developed. We had Arizona and the Alabama section in here, because we had a lot of people in Arizona, a lot in Alabama. We got board members all over the country, though. Freedom Restoration Foundation. You can also find us on Facebook and MeWe. All right, check them out. But go here. Survival Tribe Network. This is a very sophisticated website. Why is they all put this together? And that's her. So seriously, guys, no, that's not her name. You can use a stage name like she's using there, a handle, if you will, like in OCB parlance, System Band Radio, Breaker 19. When you join here, and so that people don't know exactly who you are or where you're at, but you know, you need to get your basics in there and roughly what city you're in, so that people can find each other. Self-organized tribes, guys. You need to get busy with that. That's what that's here for. That is one we got. Hey, Granny, Jason Smith, Sandy Coker, Q&A News. That's a good one. Q&A News. Always have some Q&A. So, guys, I think I went through all this. I'm going to show y'all something else. Stop share. Hey, hello. Let's give y'all an idea about something here. I wanted to show y'all some of the backdoor stuff I do. Any given day, I scan a myriad of articles. So I didn't even select these. And I email them from one email. Oops, y'all see my email. Don't email that email. It's a junk email. I don't read it. I just send the email from it. Now, these are the articles that I've selected, and a lot of them are posted up here, not all of them. You see all these articles? This is all today, Saturday. I looked at every one of these articles today. This is what I do every day. You see that? Look here. That's the articles I looked at today. This is what I do every day. And that's not every article I looked at. That's the ones I selected as being of something I might want to put in a video, like this video. Maybe Galactic Greg. Some of them do pertain to other channels and things like that. But every one of those videos, I looked at it. Now, every one of those articles and many, many more. I don't select everything I look at. That's about 1/10 of what I actually browse through. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Let me look at this. Okay. And then I take them and I post them into the video browser, one of my browsers. And then I got to try to sort them and group them together so I can talk coherently about them. By the time I do that, all those little tabs are about that big. It's kind of hard to see them and move them around. I accidentally delete half of them, have to come in and re-put them in. And I also have to come back and look at watch my memory on my computers. I'm adding so many things in here because it all, these browsers are memory hogs, especially some of those websites. It's got a ton of little gadgets in them and things for memory hogs. So I got to watch all that as I'm putting them in here. And that takes hours and hours and hours and hours. I do that every day. And some days you never see it because I just run out of time. Yesterday, I had the browser set up like this, but we also were dealing with weather yesterday. And by the time I could get it all strung together, there was no way I could do a video and start it before 3 o'clock in the morning. And I said, I ain't doing it. I got to get up. So I just took all those hours and threw them away. If you don't see me on here late at night, that's usually what happened. I burnt a bunch of hours. That's tough. That's tough. And that's why sometimes, YouTubers get a little antsy or a little excited when, people are not supporting them, so really, you have no clue what we put in a lot of times to do. Now, there are people who just get in and they just talk. Okay, there's some of that. And, but usually YouTubers, there's a lot of research goes into making a video. To do it properly, I would be adding several more hours to edit all these videos. But where am I getting it, guys? I don't sleep. I'm getting up early in just a few hours. I got an interview tomorrow morning. So that's what happens. I get up early every morning. I'm up here late. Hey there, if you Joe, appreciate it. So that's what we're in here for. Appreciate it. That's what we come here for. Nothing. When we go live, there's no ads for all your views. So the only revenue that comes in is when y'all give a super chat. So that really helps. That really helps. And that's a show of appreciation for the time and effort we put into making these videos. It's very considerable. Chat GPT is a great assistant. Yeah, but it's not one of. All right, the one in Bing will find some articles for you, but I actually go through news. If you ask it questions, I go through news. I'm trying to get what is going on, and I pull from many sources. And a lot of the stuff I bring in is stuff that comes from my contacts in the power grid defense community or defense community, or maybe Lee Wilbarger. Some of y'all love him, some of y'all hate him, but he's got a network. He's constantly watching everything. Now the difference between him and I is he don't do any research ahead of time. He just goes live, and then while he's live, he goes through and sorts through stuff. But you sit there and I try to make it more concentrated for your benefit. I get more watch time that way, but I don't know how that would do for retention. So that's, and what did I say about you needing your sleep? If I slept normal, you would not see any videos from me. This channel would not exist. That's the way it is, guys. It's the only time I got to do stuff usually. You might see 4 or 5 videos a month. Seriously. It's tough. But you know, part of the whole object of this channel is maybe it'll help me get by. You know, and I always thought this job I was on would one day go poof due to politics. And well, it's going poof due to internal politics more than anything else. They decided they didn't need the skill set that I represent, system safety for the manned launches that are coming up for avionics. They got rid of 3 of us that are avionics system safety. Hey, New Days, thank you so much. Buy a necktie for your interview. It's going to be by telephone. Yeah, I need to. Actually, I got some neckties, but they need to be clean, dry cleaned. Yep. So appreciate that very much. So guys, yeah, I may have some in-person interviews before too awful long. But guys, it's everything we got to do. You know, we're all in stressful times. You guys are in stressful times. I'm just trying to bring y'all messages so you can see them ahead of time. Sometimes when you know something's coming, and it don't catch you by surprise, it's not such a shock. And you don't need to be shocked. I don't need to see you guys in a catatonic state when things hit us. You need to go, oh yeah, I knew this was coming, and know what to do next. So that's why I tell you guys to when you're preparing, you got to prepare mentally as well as physically and spiritually. You got to be right with your maker, and that'll give you a lot of solace in getting through the time. You know, it's like, well, you know, push come to shove, I'm in the right place. You know, always, if you don't tell your family you love them, you're going to regret it. That's another thing you got to cover. Protect your family as much as you can. But you can only do what you can do. Do your best. And if you've done your best, you can't sweat it any more than that. Do your level best to help your family, help yourself. It's kind of like being in an airplane, you know, when putting oxygen mask on. If you don't put it on yourself first, you might not get it on the kid. You may pass out before you get it on the kid. And then getting back to yourself, and it ain't happening. You know, like if you got your kid next to you on the plane, they always tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself. But, you know, that's part of loving the kid. But I don't know, guys. We're in tough times. More storms headed toward Alabama tomorrow. Yeah, I think they're passing south of me, I hope. It's going to be rain tomorrow night. I pray that they miss me. But we'll see. So, yeah, I did that video. Check the video I did earlier today. I went out to the community off Boll Weevil Road. There's Boll Weevil Road, I think Cotton Mill Road or something like that. There's 2 roads just south of me. Yeah, over here a little ways. And 2 EF5 tornadoes went through there. One just outside the community, another right in it. And they did it, one in 95 and the other in 2011. So I've had 2 EF5 tornadoes pass within about maybe a little over a mile away from this house right here. Both times my yard was full of junk from other people's houses. I mean, back there in the woods and everywhere, I just find bits and pieces of houses, tar paper, insulation, pieces of wood. Sad. That is sad when you find stuff like that. I'm in Mississippi and my signal is weak. How you doing, ma'am? Are you safe? Did you have any issues where you're at? Greg, you should build universal habitats for SpaceX to launch to Mars. Hey, I'm going to work on that. Actually, you'll build them on Mars. But yeah, that's better than the ideas they're working with, guarantee you. And so yeah, that's one of the things I want to do. I want to start pushing that more, developing that more. Tuscaloosa L5. Yeah, you had one in Tuscaloosa. Yeah, that thing was huge. The city gets hit by one like that, that's crazy. But we've had 2 come by close to here within, you know, just a few years apart. And not to mention other tornadoes, but those F5s are the ones that scare you, because that community I was in, I panned the camera around, you saw houses. There was nothing there after that tornado went through in 20. It was all slabs. It was not a brick on the slab. I mean, it was just clean slabs everywhere. Just a whole wide swath of where the houses had stood was all slabs. I didn't say that in that video. I thought about it after I said, yeah, I meant to say that. I should have said it. You look around, you see a slab, you only see one behind me, and you see all these houses. Oh, we got that house. No, it got all of them. cleaned out to the slab. A lot of people died in that community. It was in the 20s, right there in that community. And there's 253 died from those tornadoes. And I think in just Alabama, people died in Mississippi. Those storms started in Mississippi, and they were rough in Mississippi and came through Alabama, were still rough, and went into Tennessee and were rough. That day was all day long storms. That was a rough day. 27 April 2011. Don't forget that. Yeah. Funny thing was, my worms arrived. It started my worm farm the day before that happened. King Snowbox's high grade clocks went forward today in UK. Okay, yeah, well, ours went forward a few days ago. You lived 1 block from the hospital. Well, James, did it affect you? Did it get your house? Did it take out the hospital? I don't remember what all hit in Tuscaloosa. I remember seeing the video, though. That place was wrecked. And then Alabama went and beat the opponents, the team did after that. You know, it's amazing that the football team was able to. And I think it just makes them more determined when you get hit by something like that. Just makes them play more determined. Boy, that was something. You know, that. I remember that was hundreds of tornadoes across many states. That's right. It was a rough day. I probably went up into Ohio. I remember in 1974, we had a spate of storms just like that almost. They started later here than that day, but they went through the night, and those storms went up into Ohio too. So, yeah, those were some crazy storms. Yeah, the storm that went through here in 2011 started almost to the Mississippi River, and it went up into Tennessee. I mean, that storm was long, big, huge EF5 tornado. So Cuba and Turkmenistan vote today. Oh, okay, Anton, what do you think is going to happen? Greg, habits on Mars need to be sealed from microbes. You know, they'll be sealed. You got to on space. Oh yeah, you think there's some bugs on Mars? Well, they probably have it adapted to eating human flesh. They'll probably take one taste of it and go, yeah. They're probably mineral eaters, kind of like the bacteria way down in the crust of the Earth. So Lee is also correct about coronal host wind storms. Hey, I don't know. We had coronal holes and we had some strong storms. Correlation don't mean causation, but there's a prospect. I mean, it's putting energy in the system, guys, and that's where storms come from, is energy, right? And I do think these storms have a more electrical nature than is typically given to them. In fact, I've often wondered if you could kill a tornado by grounding it out electrically. I thought about, having some kind of truck that run with a missile system. It'd been a storm chaser with a missile system and a conductor wire, put the wire in the ground and shoot it into the tornado and see what happens. Pickaxe, how you doing, buddy? In the house of weather. You're up late, Pickaxe. It's almost 4 a.m. your time, and I got to go to bed, guys. We're gonna have to call it a night here. But less solar output on Mars means increase of fungal growth. Yeah, it could. We have very little atmosphere. Mars is like a vacuum, man. Even on the surface, compared one hundredth of the atmosphere of Earth on the surface of Mars. How you fly a helicopter at Mars helicopter? That's a marvel. I mean, helicopters are the ones we build to fly around at sea level. Can't even make it up the slope of Mount Everest. I've been listening. My eyes gave out. Okay, Stan. Well, we're about to call it a night here. Greg, people say people taste like pork. Well, now white people are telling you that. I mean, somebody's eating people. Well, I always heard that human flesh was sweet, and predators didn't like it because it's too sweet due to all the sugars we're eating. Maybe it's like sweet and sour, like the Chinese sweet porks, right? I don't know. I wouldn't even want to know, but there's a lot of similarities between human tissue and pig tissue. That's why they can put pig organs in people. And they're trying long pork. Yeah, that's what some people call this, long pork, when the grid goes down. When it hits the fan, people will be hunting people. People will be the only big critters left. Russian President Vladimir Putin announces that Russia will station. Yeah, I covered that earlier in July. I heard summer. Okay, so the month is July, guys. So World War III starts in July, maybe. Let's hope not. Just because I got them there don't mean they're going to use them. Just because I got them don't mean they'll light them. When we go to Mars, we will be fresh meat. Uh-oh, possibly. Well, hey, I like the idea of settling the atmosphere of Venus, or even or having free floating space habitats like Gerard Kill and Neil envisioned. I think that's a better idea. But Venus's atmosphere is pretty cool. Yeah, Cindy, we're calling tonight. Good point there. Good night. Eat the problem, be a part of the solution. I did my video, said eat the weeded, it's eating America. I called it the #1 wild edible. Very nutritious and lots of it, but you got to live where it's growing. You know what was that? Anybody know what that weed was? I'm waiting. Let's see somebody pop up. What was the weed I called the #1 wild edible? Y'all watch my wild edible videos? You should. Could help you survive. Pressure on Venus, you have yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Jason. Jason, if you hermetically sealed a house because the carbon dioxide is so dense on Venus, molecular weight 29, a hermetically sealed house would float right at the level where the atmospheric pressure and temperatures are just like outside. The only thing is you got to put on like a frogman suit or something because the atmosphere is acidic. So you got to have something to keep the acid off of you. It's a lot better than wearing a spacesuit. And you'd have to have some oxygen. Purslane, well, at least that's a guess. Rabbit's not a plant frozen. I'm talking about, okay, yeah, I see where you're going. Eat bugs. Poke salad? Nope. What's the plant that's eating America? Eat the plant that's eating America. The #1 wild edible. Actually, there's some of it growing up in Oregon. And there's a spot in Michigan. What is that? Which is hard to understand, but it tends to like warm weather. Cattails aren't eating America. At least y'all are guessing. Y'all know how to watch my wild edible videos, guys. You want to survive, thrive, and stay on the hive. Know how to eat. Know how to eat when the grid goes down. Watch these while the internet's still up, guys. You better go watch my bingo, Todd. Dun, 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 dun. Todd got it first. New Day's popping right behind him. Now people got it. Kudzu, vidcom. Dandelion's good, but kudzu's the answer. Kudzu grows like crazy. It's like the red weed from the book War of the Worlds. It's taking over the world. That's what kudzu's like, green weed. But it's in the bean family. You can eat every part of it except the woody piece of the stem. You can eat the roots. You can eat the camion level layer around the stem. You can eat the flowers, the shoots, everything about kudzu's edible, just about, except the woody stem. Hello without Kellogg, hopefully without Kellogg's, okay. Lee loves Anton. And Anton's got the Ukraine flag, but did Anton, don't you and Lee have some difference? China present to use, yeah, guys, we're in a pickle. But look, it's hitting the fan. It's already starting. Everything don't happen instantly. There's build up. It's kind of like that song, the music, especially old classical music where it builds up and up and up until the final crescendo. Well, we're really close to that final crescendo. It's been building up and it's really coming fast and furious. We're not at the final crescendo yet. When does it happen? Is it going to be with Iran immediately? Will it be with China immediately or a few years from now? I would say that the war with China will probably occur before Xi Jinping's 5-year tenure is up, which is, I'd say, within the next 4 years. Some people think within the next 2 years that they'd do it before our elections in Taiwan. I can't argue with that. I know that Xi wants to go down in history as the guy who took Taiwan back. That's what he wants to be, his mark in history. That's his determination. He says Mao Zedong failed. He wants to be bigger than Mao Zedong. That's his dream. And he's 70 years old. He's not going to live forever. So, and his term's only got 5 years in it. And I don't think he'll want to be in war when the party Congress meets, 4.5 years from now. I think he wants to have it done by then. That's why I said within 4, maybe sooner. Maybe sooner. So the guys, the clock, the World War seems to be ticking. Is it going to be with Iran? All this stuff that's cooking up? Will it be? Where's the tripwire at? Where is the big trip? Is it with Russia? Is it with North Korea? We got all these tripwires out there right now. Can we step back from all of them? Why not? Why not? Why can't we just step back from all this mess? Why are we in Syria? There's no good reason for it. You know, a lot of people said oil. No, there's no oil. Syria is not an oil-rich country. The reason we're in Syria is because Syria is on the left flank of Israel, and it's allied with Iran to some deal. And this was meant to keep that flank from hitting Israel too hard when they hit Iran. This is all war prep for fighting Iran. That's what it boils down to. And that was cooked up during when Hillary Rodham was Secretary of State. So you'll figure that out way back when. So all this other pretensions you hear is Boulder Dash. Of course, you know, we supposedly are there to fight ISIS now, but that's not what we went in there for. And we really wanted to overthrow Assad, but the Russians went in there. That's why we didn't overthrow Assad. It meant direct confrontation with Russia. Now, Russia won't even they won't let Iran take full control either, because so Iran will not do the same thing. And even though Russia's trading with and loves Iran and is getting a lot of stuff from them, I think they like Assad just a little better. So Assad's got one little bitty naval dock or port there in the Mediterranean directly. It's not like near what they got in Sevastopol and Crimea, but they've got a small port there in Syria, right in the Mediterranean. Israel's more capable of defending themselves. They are. So, you know, but we're in there with them, whether you like it or not, we're there. And I don't think we got any business being in Syria. Syria did not invite us into their nation. Assad did not say, come in and help us out with ISIS. ISIS was created to fight Assad, which is what we wanted to do. I think we had a big hand in that, even though we're supposed to be fighting with us. ISIS did terrible things, very terrible things, horrible things. Yeah, I think we had a hand in that. I think a lot of what we accused Assad of was staged. My guess. Can't prove it. Don't say Greg said it was. I'm just saying, well, as I suspect. Let me say I don't think it, I suspect it. I suspect it. I want to be definitive on something when I don't have definitive proof in front of me. That's what a lot of people do. I try not to do that, but I suspect that. And I've seen a photograph, which some people says, oh, it wasn't that, but it looks a lot like it to me. I've seen a photograph of McCain with a guy in the background behind him who looked a whole lot like al-Baghdadi, the guy that founded ISIS. ISIS is horrible. For everything we accused Assad of doing, ISIS did way worse. You know, what was ISIS equipped with? All the equipment we left behind in Iraq. Reminds you of Afghanistan, right? And, you know, a lot of times we were going to supply the Kurds, and we accidentally dropped the supplies in the territory of ISIS. So ISIS was good. I guess we liked them as long as they were fighting Assad until a point, and then we decided we would get rid of them. Just think about that when you're doing the bidding of the United States. Yeah, as long as we're happy with what you're doing, and then when we decide it's politically expedient, bye. Not good, right? Free gas. Where's free gas? CIA has done us more trouble than anything. I support the Free Syrian Army. Okay, Anton. I support people having freedom anywhere. That's the problem. We're putting our nose in stuff we shouldn't be putting our nose in. That's why Iran hates us so bad, or at least parts of Iran. I think main Iranian citizens just like to get rid of the regime that's ruling them today. They're tired of it. They're sick of it. And we've not helped them. Now we help everybody else. We're not helping them. Why? Because I think they're part of the agenda. You know, I probably should take this on to the channel and talk about it. But there's a reason you got Israel and Iran and the positions are in today. Some people say this was planned. Some people think this was a letter written in 1871. By Pike. I won't say too much. I'll get hit. And since some people think that, yeah, and some people say a letter never existed. I'm not going to talk about that any further here. That's treading on thin ice. We might have to take that up and rumble. That's a rumble topic. Accidentally on purpose. They also magically got used vehicles from U.S. Vehicle auctions. Oh, yeah, it's just amazing. Just amazing. And some of these so-called accidents, yeah, accidentally on purpose. What about this thing with Afghanistan, giving all this stuff to the Afghanis, all that equipment? Was that accidental on purpose? 1871 was a bad year. It was for freedom. Colonel Cole, you still in the house? What was this whole fiasco in Afghan a purposeful accident? I don't know. Stupid, whatever it was. It was stupid. I remember the Gouda sarin gas attack. Who do you think really did it, Anton? Who really did it? Reconstruction was terrible. Amen to that. Amen to that. Yeah, the United States Army was a lot more friendly to rebuild Germany and Japan, but in the South, Reconstruction was not construction. It was jackboots, destruction. Accidentally pull. Oh yeah, okay, got you, Rainey. It's Colonel Cole's calling. Odin. Hello, Odin. Good morning, evening. Scowl. General Wesley Clark called it. You think Assad did it? I don't know. I'm highly suspicious. Highly suspicious. People need to, yeah, the South was really stomped hard. It took the South 100 years to recover from the war between the states, 100 years. At Blue Moon Iran. Hey, Blue Moon. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night here. Anton believes Assad did it. I'm not convinced. Far from it. Far from it. I got other suspicions. Time to dig it. But whatever the case is, we ain't got no business being over there. That's my bottom line. We need to get out. You know, our troops are being hit by range. The Russians buzzed with fighters right over our troops, right over them. It's kind of a warning in case we get into it with Russia. So, yeah, those guys, I would not want to be an American troop in Syria right now. Not a good place to be. Anyway, it's a new term I have learned to use watching court cases. And what does it stand for? AIMO. In my opinion, what's the A for? Medic. Okay. Sure, that should be IMO. Oh. Stevie, my dad died in 1999. Yeah, you don't ever get over something like that. All right, guys. Zero access to chemical. Well, I've heard a lot of stories about stuff over there. A lot of stories. Todd had ancestors on both sides. Guess I'm glad they didn't kill each other. True. I got that. Well, families were divided. Families divided. I mean, there were brothers on both sides. Brothers. Miss my mom. Yeah, I miss my mom. I miss my dad. I miss them both. 900 American military in Syria. They say, yeah, well, why even that? Why even that? We should get them out. Get them out. Northern California. Okay. All right, everybody. Where are you from? And we're going to go. Rover, where are you from? Real quick. I got to hit the hay. I got to interview tomorrow. Yeah, I hate losing a parent. I tell you, the worst thing would be to lose a kid. There's some of you that told me you lost your kids. That's got to be the hardest thing for a parent on earth. Nevada, Jason Smith, Nevada. Where in Nevada are you? Mom and dad, yeah. All right, Anton. I lost my mom in 2007. I lost my dad in 2020. On the 20th of March, that day just passed his third. He was he was 3 weeks away from his 99th birthday. Or no, a few more than that, but he was close to his 99th birthday. Actually, my brother passed away 3 weeks later. 2020 was a bad year for me, very bad. Moscow, Idaho, UK Wells, okay, from Iowa, Todd. Let's see, Mount Charleston. Love the interview. Thank you, Miss Vicky. Fort Smith, Rocket is Ohio, Olds Rocket. South Carolina for VidCom. Wisconsin Winter Wonderland. All right, Tom, I know you got that going. My babies were, oh my God, Granny. I just can't imagine that. From Mexico. We got Mexico in the house, guys. Liz Villaggio. I'm probably not saying that correct. My apologies in advance, or behind, not advance, but my apologies. Lisa Brad, Texas, 45 minutes northwest of Houston. You ever been to Sustainable Harvesters up there? It's got the big greenhouses with aquaponics in it. I've been there. Was it COVID with my brother, who's just older than me, passed away? Yeah. My dad, well, they didn't say that, but it's possible. He had fluid on a lung, that's for sure. I'll be, all right, Stan. Idaho. I'll be the hoe, LOLAK, Idaho. Hawaii. All right, Garrett. You having fun down there? James D. Mom went in a hospital. Thanks. Yeah. What happened? My dad had a procedure and was recovering in a nursing home, and he might have caught something there. Spring, Texas. Spring, Texas. All right. Spring, Texas. Well, I got a daughter there, Lady Lee Bell. I got a daughter and 2 grandkids and a son-in-law there in Spring, Texas. I spent a couple nights there myself. Spring, Texas. Yeah, Anton. Well, hats off to you, man. You've got this job. It's supposed to be, Greg. Otherwise, water off duck's back. Yeah, okay. All right, guys. Wish me luck. I got this interview in the morning, and it's not going to be a normal interview. It's going to be different. Riverside County, California. I've driven through there. Niagara Falls. Hey, Ron Max, which side? U.S. or Canadian side? I've been on the Canadian side many times. I think it was CA major on the Canadian side. Been there many, many times. On the Canadian side, that's the pretty side of the falls. I've been underneath them and through the tunnels and all around there. Had a great granddad that lived to be almost 99. Yeah, my dad almost made it. We got a 5-gen picture. Oh, that's nice, Todd. That's really nice. Cheers, Greg. Says Jason. Miss Vicky's place. Tony. Andy, how you doing? All right, guys. Who lives alone? Right here. A lot of us. Is that going to be a poll? You want to see a poll answer? All right. If you live alone, say aye or yes. Another Duncourt. Yeah. Rocket North Central. Oh, home of the Warren Hardin. Okay. Warren Hardin's from. I'm my brother, says James D. Where you at, James? Your parents had good taste in names. I did painting in Paris art. Oh, cool. How do you like the wreck? Yeah, it was nice. That was a good, nice picture. Yeah, it would be good in a trapper's cabin in the Niagara Falls on the Canadian side. There you go. That's a pretty side. I says VidCom. All right. I know at least 3 of us are living alone. Hawksville. Okay. All right, guys, let's call it a night. Let's call it a night. Let's stick a fork in it. I got to get up. I got to get ready. I don't go straight to bed. I got some things to do. I gotta put a hurry on it. Just notice Lee and Baghdaddy. Oh, Anton, you're not going to be in. Lee ain't going to be having any love for you, man. Wow. Hadn't thought about that. Interesting. Sleep. Best wishes. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. All righty, guys. Cobra Killing Frog. Yeah, it's a cool name. All right, guys. All right. Hope you're doing well down in Mexico. Once late, I'll be asking some questions. I got some friends down there. Be good. Come back to my chat room again from Mexico. Hey there, John. You're lurking tonight. I asked you a question. You didn't answer. All right, folks. Good night. Y'all take care. Keep your eyes wide open, your head on a swivel. I always tell you, right? The pics look the same. Okay. Woo-wee. All right. Maybe he is hiding behind Senator. Anyway, all right. Let's call it a night. Everyone, don't tell Lee. Oh, yeah, you're in trouble, Anton. You're in big trouble. I know you meant it innocently, but hey. Guys, thank y'all for watching. Thank you very much. Hey, thank y'all for the super chats. Thank you, mods. Thank y'all for being here. Share my videos, guys. We need to get this platform cranking. To do that, share my videos. Go in and just crank the algorithms. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. We got 150. Okay. Give me a thumbs up on your way out. And guys, go into the comments and post a comment or two, and then respond to somebody else's comment. You know, give other people thumbs up or whatever you think they deserve from what they say. And let's get the discussion in this channel zooming. And that's what drives the algorithms. Even though they got a squelch lever down on me, the algorithms do respond to those things. I want to watch now. All right, thank you, Joe. Once again, all right, Kevin. Once again, good night, everyone. With that, I'm gonna say,